Wel, bore da pawb. Sut ydych chi y bore yma? How are you all this morning? Well, I hope you're happier than this character in this story, because let me tell you, mae e'n grac iawn. He's really angry. And we'll find out why. But first, let's say our good morning song. Barod? Bore da, sut o'i ti, bendigedig, bore da, bore da. Now this story is one for all you dinosaur lovers out there. So Evan, this one is especially for you, and is called Tiny-Rannosaurus, and is by Nick Ward. Now I've read this to lots of classes over the years, and they've always found it really funny, so I hope you do too, and I hope I managed to say the names of the dinosaurs properly. Many years ago, when the world was a wild and dangerous place, when everywhere was covered with volcanoes and jungles, and when fierce dinosaurs ruled the earth, the fiercest dinosaur of all was Tiny-Rannosaurus Rex. So we've got Apatosaurus, I can say that one, Iguanodon, Triceratops, Carythosaurus, and here's Tiny-Rannosaurus Rex. Now he looks tiny, but he isn't very nice. Because he wasn't as big as some of the other dinosaurs, Tiny had to be especially fierce to make up for it. So he had learned to roar the loudest roar. Roar! Clash his jaws the hardest, slam, and pull the fiercest faces. He was the loudest, hardest, fiercest, and grumpiest little dinosaur ever. Grrr. Even as a baby, Tiny had been a handful. He stamped and growled and would kick up a storm. But today, Tiny was even grumpier than normal. He had an awful toothache, which was not good news, as everyone knows that dinosaurs love to eat. I'm famished, grumbled Tiny, as he sat down to breakfast and bit down hard on his favourite food. Ouch, he cried, my tooth! Oh dear, said his mum, we'd better go and have that tooth pulled out. No way, cried Tiny-Rannosaurus, and off he went to find some friends. Look, Dino Pops, tasty bits of gravel. I don't think I'd fancy those for breakfast. Tiny stomped through the jungle in a grumpy mood. His tooth ached and his tummy was empty. Then just around the corner he came upon Triceratops eating in the clearing. Food, smiled Tiny. He roared his loudest roar. He pulled his fiercest face and bellowed, charge! Look, he's eating rock cakes and fizzy swamp water. Ugh. Careful, Tiny-Rannosaurus, called Triceratops as Tiny barged into him. Yum, yum, yum. Ouch! Tiny screamed, my tooth! Perhaps, said Triceratops, you should go and see about having it removed. Not a chance, sulked Tiny. I don't need it out. Tiny stomped down to the river. I'm starving, he moaned, and then he smelt fresh berries and followed the scent to a group of Apatosaurus. Charge, he yelled and stomped towards them, picking up a huge bunch of berries and slamming shut his mighty jaws. Ow! Ow! Ouch! He cried, my tooth! Oh dear, said the Apatosaurus. Perhaps you should see about having it removed. I won't have it removed, sobbed Tiny, and stomped off up the nearest volcano, where he found his best friend, Velociraptor, who was eating an apple. Food! Now this is a thought bubble. Can you see? If it was a speech bubble, they're not quite so cloud-looking, if that makes sense. And look, it's coming, that's what he's thinking in his head. Food! Thundered Tiny, roaring his loudest roar and pulling his fiercest face. Stop, Tiny, stop! Yelped Philo. And as Tiny got within nipping distance of the apple, he clashed his mighty jaws. Yow! Howled Tiny. What's the matter with you?" munched Philo. "I'm sorry, Philo," said Tiny, "but I'm so hungry and I've got a terrible toothache." "Then perhaps you'd better go and have it taken out," said Philo. "No!" screamed Tiny. "I won't have it removed." And stamping and roaring and growling and grimacing, Tiny-Rannosaurus kicked up a real storm until the clouds churned and lightning flashed everywhere. But when the dust settled, Tiny still had a terrible toothache and an empty tummy. "Oh dear," he sighed, "perhaps I had better have it removed." "Open wide," says Dr. Stegosaurus, peering inside Tiny's mouth. Tap, tap, tap. "How does that feel?" he asked. "Much better, thank you," said Tiny. "Good. You should be able to eat something now," smiled the dentist. "I can," said Tiny, and jumped up, mouth open, and went chomp. "Oh, Tiny," sighed his mum, "please put the dentist back." And he's shouting, "Get me out!" And that is the end. So, even though he was tiny, he was really fierce. He was really loud, and incredibly grumpy. I hope none of you are being grumpy for your mums and dads, because you're never grumpy in school, are you? I'm getting grumpy because I'm missing you a lot. I can't wait to see you back in school, and I can't wait to say bore da to you on that door. So, shall we do our goodbye song? Barod, 1, 2, 3. Hwyl fawr ffrindiau, hwyl fawr ffrindiau, hwyl fawr ffrindiau, mae'n amser dweud hwyl fawr. Twralwra bantynni, 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 twralwra bantynni, mae'n amser dweud hwyl fawr. Don't be grumpy dinosaurs, and I'll see you soon. Hwyl fawr.